when he would ask you something and when you didn't hear it, he was always kind of quiet about it. Like if you didn't want to do it, he would kind of just
Didn't
sit
say
there.
anything?
No. He wouldn't really say anything. But, he was always
Scratch one chair.
he was always pretty nice to me, and and when I would ask him something, he would always say yes. He would always be really excited to do it. And I was really sad when he died.
Thank you, bud.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I love this whole family because very much. I love them so much.
And you love Randy.
I love Randy. I didn't like when he died.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Charles?
I love it.
What I remember about Granddaddy is that the most special thing that we did for him was he loved it when we opened the door and shut it for him. And he loved it like when we held his hand. And he loved all the little things we did when he sat down next to him, like when we had dinner with him, and when he gave him a hug and a kiss.
Thank you.
Nice to fun.
I just want to say that he was a really great guy. He always liked the little things that we did, like opening the door and shutting it for him. He liked buying us candy. And he liked holding our hands and all that and the little stuff. And moving the bell. He was a really good guy. And I want to say something else, but I don't know what.
You miss him?
And I miss him a lot. And I'll probably do something.
I want to just say one thing to everybody. This has been tough for me, as you all know, but thank you all for coming. It really meant a lot that everyone has come. Thank you for being with me. It's really uplifted me. And we will all be together tomorrow to say farewell to Stan, but he will always be in our hearts. Thank you.
I must just say something. I don't mean to lighten this up a little bit, but there's one of the things I think a lot of people, and probably everybody in this room, that really got to know my dad, that got a kick out of. In a politically correct world, he could give a rat's ass about it. He didn't quite understand it. He didn't quite understand it. Daddy, don't say those things. You know, Dad, that's not it. But everybody loved it. So if you got a compliment from him, he meant it. If you were fishing for a compliment and asking, hey, Dad, what do you think of this new shirt I got? He wouldn't tell you if he didn't like it, if it was a bad shirt. But if he gave you a compliment, it was just so sincere. There was never, I don't know, I think a lot of people used to ask Dad, hey, Dad, what do you think of such and such? And whether it's politics or whatnot. And he would tell you what you can't get away with in public. And I think in the end, people really liked his reserved but brutal honesty. Anyway, don't mean to do a lighter note. Believe me, tomorrow
Don't use any bad words tomorrow, okay?
I got a few.
And the top was down, and we were singing at the top of our lungs, if you knew Susie like I know Susie. And we sang it, and we laughed, and I thought he hung a moon. And I can remember, this is pre-Annabelle, before he met Annabelle.
No, there was no light before Annabelle.
No, really, I mean, he was, Becky Yerkes, they were all crazy about him, they all hung around him, and he was my uncle, and I was so proud.
Got their number.
And then I remember being in your wedding, which was just a treasure to me forever. And I remember the first time Mom told me you were pregnant with Allison. Yeah, I was just like, wow. He brought us Billy. Where's Billy? Where's Billy?
Over there.
Do you remember bringing us silver dollars from Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah. We kept those forever. He was just our very, very, very special uncle. He always did exciting things for us, and we both thought he hung the moon, absolutely, and never stopped feeling that way. So, what a treasure he was, what an absolute treasure. And I remember his laugh. He had the most special smile and the most special laugh, and that's probably just the greatest memory of all.
And he was wearing his angel wings, and he was with my godmother Lanessa and my godfather Lawrence, and they were having a cocktail and playing bridge. And whenever I get sad, I'm trying to think of the great things that we did. I remember when we were little, we used to walk on the beach and find shark's teeth all the time. And then he also used to take us to Timuquana, and he used to race us across the pool, and he always used to let me win. But he didn't let Stan win, Stan said.
Actually, you were pretty good.
Maybe I was really good, but I don't know.
You were really good.
Yeah, you swam competitively.
Right, but he still let me win. So, and I just have a lot of wonderful memories. And every time I start feeling bad, I try to think of something happy. And I think about all the dinners we had here at this house, and now I always got to fix him martinis. And he loved to have martinis, and he'd share them with me, and that was one of our things that we just loved to do, was have a good drink and have a fun dinner here with the family. We did it a lot.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss him.
Yes, we are.
I was gonna say, my earliest remembrance with him go back a long way, because obviously I'm older. But he was still in college, and he would come home from college, and like everybody coming from college, coming from Duke, he was tired when he got here, he wanted to crash and go to bed, and I wanted to see him. And so I woke up early in the morning, and I remember 96424 is my grandmother's number. That was one you had 389 or whatever it said, 96424. I would start calling, and I would call and call, and she kept saying, we can't wake him up yet. But when he did get up, he would come see me, and he always brought fireworks from Georgia, because you couldn't get them in Florida. We would throw fireworks together, and he would come out, and he bought me a football from Duke, and we would throw the football in our front yard on Arapahoe. And I know y'all don't remember him being that kind of active, but he had a good arm. And he would throw the football with us. But I guess one of my other favorite memories is 2 years ago, our whole family, my side and the husband's side, we all got together for Thanksgiving at Fripp Island, which was really special to me. But what was so special about it is that after my family moved away, we used to come back for lots of Thanksgivings at the husband's house also. It was special then, and it'll always be special. So.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And we'll do some fireworks tonight in honor of Granddaddy. We got a bunch. We'll do some around 9 o'clock.
Sorry.
I'm always so emotional. Lauren and I came back to Jacksonville first time to go to Night Island to the tournament that NEA had started. And NEA and Uncle Stan took us to the River Club for the first time. And Uncle Stan took Lauren and I on a tour of the room to see the view. And as he walked by, he introduced us to everybody he knew as his niece and her daughter. And it just warmed my heart so much, to be so warmly welcomed into the family. So I appreciated that very much. Thank you. He's such a dear, sweet Southern gentleman. Oh, we will definitely miss him.
Thank you, Cindy.
I was actually going to touch on the same thing. I always felt like he was such a gentleman at all times, and I think that the children tended to pick up on that, and that's one of the reasons why they so enjoyed holding the door for him and holding his hand, because I think for some reason the gentleness and the Southern gentleman came out in him and passed on by, what my husband was talking about earlier, by his actions, and it kind of followed him by his actions. And I was thinking, of course, I think we've all been thinking a lot lately, that I've known Stan for 20 years, which is quite amazing because I knew my mother for 20 years also. And I thought that was an interesting thing. So just to kind of give you guys perspective that, he's been a big figure in my life. And it's been really nice being without my family to have him around and to be sweet. And Stan was saying something to get up and walk lately, that Stan understood me better than my own husband understands me. and he goes, I'm sorry about that backhanded compliment. But I think my dad always understood you a little bit more.
He got you. He got you.
He kind of got me a little more.